Why did OBS have to change the stream key that I was doing? And why is it not showing any... Okay, now it's working. Thank you, YouTube and OBS. Not streamers live. We should hopefully be getting started very shortly. You can see who's in, who isn't, in case I need it for future reference. But we'll go back to the main lobby now. Someone disconnected. What's going on? Still a lot of muttering. Rasmussen needs to select a car. Not sure. There's a penalty for selecting the incorrect car. We're gonna get started. I do not want to wait too long. We should be loading into qualifying now. What will the weather be like? I'm not sure. I think it's only been dry in the real races, although on the game it does sometimes rain. It's not the wettest track, but watch, it is Jordan Kent. Thanks for pinging me. Is it raining? No, it isn't. We'll get qualifying underway now. Hopefully audio levels are okay. Oh, there's a bit of problem with seats. Rasmussen forgot to select a car and it just yeeted Bjorn into the Mercedes, which is not the first on track. Following behind David, we don't want that. That I like. This may be useful, but I like having a mini map. Herbert needs to select a car. Right, what's Rog doing? Has Rasmussen disconnected? Not sure what's going on. But I think David was the first on track. Sorry for this boringness. Oh my gosh, Wodge, you can do it. I do not care. If you want to manage it, Wodge, you can. David is starting a lap now, coming into turn 1. Using some of the curb, but that is what you ideally want to do, although that curb I'm not so sure about. Now coming out of the corner, picking up some pretty decent speed, now into the braking zone. Carrying a decent amount of pace through the corner, now into turn 4. Why does Wodge need to red flag everything? You know what, I'm going to finish my dinner now, whilst you do that. Not that they can't... I'm going to eat dinner now. I'll be back in 5. Watch, if you're asking me where quiz night is, don't feel like it. That's why. Apparently we need a new lobby or something. If you wanted to do something, we could have just stuck with the original lobby. Yeah, she's doing the new lobby. I don't feel like doing it. Last time I did a lobby, I messed up the assists a bit. Why is everyone watching now? This is the most views I've seen on an Ero stream in like months. We're not even doing anything. I'm not really sure what's going on in this lobby. Now they're arguing about who can host. I wouldn't have pulled this restart, so Wodge can deal with it. Backlick is still in this lobby. I don't get it. I don't care. Are we going or not? Apparently still in this one. Back of it, but I'll join the lobby and see if it yeets me into a new one. We would be starting the race if Wodge didn't. Oh, this new lobby's broken. Wodge didn't insist on everyone being in the correct car. This lobby might be broken as well. Okay, now I'm in. So we've got 14 people in this new lobby. Now. Why is Eric? In the lobby? Is he commentating or racing? No. Seems to be spectating okay. There's still 2 people missing. Okay, there's 17 in. Where are we going now? Oh, is Bjorn not selecting a car again? Okay, car selected. Woj, stop pinging me. I have it sorted. You are muted. Like I'm not stupid. I don't leave the in-game talk thing on. If I did, that's just like dumb. I'm a bit angry right now. When will we load in? But at least we're going now. It's dry again. Who is first? I think it's Mitch. Yes. Who's going slowly? Is that David? David's ahead now. So David gets a lap commentated. Unless Mitch overtakes. They're coming around the streets of Baku now. Lots of 90-degree corners. Very slow and tedious. Now this is possibly the trickiest corner on the game. No, it isn't actually. Is it? Just maybe the castle's probably the trickiest corner on this track, or this one. But all the others are just 90-degree corners, so there's nothing special to them. Over the half and out of the final corner now and switches on battery for the 2 kilometers of the straight, and we're going to get very little advantage using battery all the way down because there's very little on the straight beyond the start finish line. So they were using all the curb on entry, suggestive of a high rear ride height. I'm coming through turn 2 nice and smooth, going down whatever straight this is. I love that that's not ideal. Probably front wing damage. There isn't any visible damage, but David's backed off, probably because it costs some time. But why have the number of viewers dropped now that we've actually gotten started? I do not understand. So David's coming through the castle section. Well, how about I watch Mitch? Seems a bit less committed than David, but hasn't binned it yet this lap and hasn't aborted. And is now about to come to the trickiest braking zone on the track. We need to get the car rotated for the corner and then try and get on throttle as early as possible. And for this one it's just 90-degree corner, so you need to do 90-degree corner stuff. It's a small lift just to make sure that you don't end up in a wall. Makes a bit of sense on the bank lap, although it should be easy flat. David does a 44.9, which does a 41.9. So I think David's starting another lap right now. And has come out of turn 2. Will the harsh driver bottle turn 3? Not this time. And it's a strong exit. Now into the slow part of the lap, as Andre Zidsvale sets fast lap, followed by Kasper Ziemianchuk, who does a 40.5, very quick, I think. But David seems to also be on a very strong lap at the moment, now coming through the castle section. Still leaving a bit of commitment left on the table. It's been a clean lap so far, unlike the first lap, as Ivanek slots up into P2 with a 40.9. David goes a bit deep into that corner though, which will compromise the exit a bit, although it's not a long straight until this 90-degree corner, but this is a long straight, and I wonder whether flicking on battery early on will cost him. It will actually cost quite a lot, because that extra 0.1 of the kilometre an hour is now going to cost him many kilometres of an hour for a much longer distance. But despite that, it's a 40.3, so a pretty quick lap despite the mistake. Is there anything else happening? Someone's in low fuel mode. I'm next going back to the pit. That's an interesting line to take, but okay. Rona's got 0.1 lap of fuel left in the car. I don't know why he even picked here. There's a Red Bull, not this one. Ziemianchuk out of fuel. I think so is the Alfa Romeo of Rona. So it's the low fuel drag race. And they're both going quite slowly into the pits. Pavlakovic is on an out lap now. So is Tuivasa, but Tuivasa's trying to burn off fuel. So overfueling in qualifying. There's 4.4 laps of fuel on the steering wheel. Viewership seems to have picked up a bit on the stream. Back to what it was during the red flag. That's not ideal. I think Tuivasa's going to have to return to the pits to get that fixed. So we'll go on board with Pavlakovic then, who, as far as I know, still has an intact front wing and does the exact same thing. Is the front wing broken? Yes, it is. Who else is on an out lap? Hauke, race winner in Canada and the United States, is now making his way around in the Williams after getting only 1 point in the first 3 rounds. The German driver has scored 2 out of 2 in the past races, so showing some pretty good pace. And now the Williams is coming out in the final corner as Leubanov has retired the car. Maybe missing a braking point in that corner. But that's an interesting line to start the lap, if I'm being completely honest. The Williams is doing 350 kilometers an hour into turn 1, getting the car rotated nicely in the corner. Now into turn 2, going a bit deep, but able to get the car to rotate. And now getting a tiny bit of slipping from the Alpine. Now coming into this corner, clipping the inside wall just like David Hoy, and there's only 1.3 laps of fuel left in that Williams, so that might be this one over. Naples on a lap, I think. And coming out of this corner, hopefully won't get held up too much by the Williams, and unfortunately invalidates, so that is a bit of an oopsie from Hauta. About Rona, 218. I think the Alfa Romeo is just starting a lap now. Getting it hooked up quite nicely through turns 1 and 2. Now out of the corner and onto the straight, getting some decent speed now into turn 3. Keeping a bit clear of the apex wall, which has proved troublesome for a lot of the drivers today. But taking it nice and clean, I would say, and is a 10th up from the previous lap. Although running a little bit deep through the second apex of turn 6, running out onto the exit curve, but cutting it just that tiny bit too much through turn 7. There was continuing on, although leaving a bit of space between the walls, but you don't want to bin it at this point. Is anyone else on a valid lap? What about Raphael? Seems to be doing decently so far this lap. Taking it nice and gentle, though 2/10 down on the delta, which is not ideal. Although it's probably still worth finishing the lap, because you can improve later on in the lap. Cutting turn 7 quite nicely. They're going into turn 8, very close to the wall. Now out of turn 12, leaving it nice and tight and getting some decent traction. Now through this full throttle curve and through another full throttle curve into the very tricky turn 15. It's very easy to go straight on an out lap as we've seen so far, but Raphael keeps it tidy, although runs a bit wide on exit and gets a bit of a snap on the curb, which is not optimal, but well held by the McLaren, who narrowly clips the wall on exit, but fortunately there aren't any more corners, so even if you break the wing, it's not the end of the world. And the McLaren decides to abort that lap, although that pit entry is a bit interesting. And in the race, that would be penalised. Herbert's on the lap. Currently on a 42.5, so really not that great. Now coming through whatever corners these are. This is turn 4, I think. I can count right. Now into 5 and 6, having a lot of speed and then overcooking it on the first apex, which significantly compromises the second apex, but gains his purple first sector, which is interesting. Cutting it just the right amount, although not the most ideal minimum speed, taking the castle section pretty decently. Now out of turn 12, taking more inside curve than normal. It gets a decent exit. Now through the full throttle curves of 13 and 14 into the trickiest braking zone on this track, getting it done nicely, getting good rotation. Now out of the final corner, the Mercedes comes. Now just 2 more easy flat corners, and now down the very long straight. Yellow flag, I think some of them low fuel mode. Now coming across the line, and it is a 41.7, so a 7.8 improvement for the Mercedes, which is good enough for P7 right now. But what can David do? It is a 39.9, so extremely quick. Anyone else on the lap? Bjorn's a 10th up. No, 18 seconds up. Game can't decide. Although it is running low on the battery. Very low in fact. Much like David on his first lap, but even worse. And he's going to be bleeding heaps of time down the straight. coming across the line, what time is it? It is a 44.7, which puts Bjorn a lot closer to everyone else, but it's still quite a bit off. What can Nick do? 0.6 improvement apparently from a podium sister last year at Baku. Came second, I believe, after a crazy race. Beat David Hoy, not only in that race but also in the championship. 41.1, which is enough for P5 right now. I think he'll be happy with that, considering last time at Baku he started last with the quali band but made up 10 positions in the first lap by using the soft tyres, which are literally rubber bands at this track. Yeah, literally rubber bands. Anyone in a quick lap? I think Adam Baku was just started, although having the Alpine there will not be optimal in terms of the dirty air, but you get a tiny bit of slipstream from that, although not that much. Now into turn 3, Quyll has joined. Why is Quyll joined? You won this race last year, or last season. It was last year, last calendar year. Are you racing or commentating or what? But Adam Baku is now coming through corners, and I'm just looking at the standings, and the Hungarian driver is currently P11 in the standings, having scored a P2 in Spain and a P4 in the United States, but other than that not scoring any points, so looking for some consistency. And I think this lap is what I would describe as somewhat consistent. High Philip. Yeah, you won this race last season. Do you think David's going to win, or will something Baku-ish happen? So the AlphaTauri is now opening the rear wing. He's been running slightly higher downforce than average. 8 seconds. Yeah, David looks quite quick. But the AlphaTauri sets 8:41. Is David sitting in the pits just to save a set of tyres? Because that might be what's happening here. Is anyone else on the lap? I think Ivanek is going to try to challenge David, although that will be quite hard given how far ahead David is right now. And the Aston Martin seems to be getting a smooth exit off the corner, whatever that means. We're coming into turn 3, very close to the walls, doing it nicely. And if you turn 4, getting some pretty good rotation. And out of the corner into 5 and 6 again, hooking up quite nicely. Coming out of the corner now into the next corner of turn 7, another 90-degree corner, although it goes quite deep, which will cost maybe a 1/10 of a second. Now into the castle section, very committed. That can gain you quite a bit of time, as Hauke does a 40.4 after messing up all the banker laps, so pretty decent from the Williams driver. Although Ivanek right now is going to try and challenge that by getting a pretty good turn 15 and now through turn 16, although runs a bit deep, but is a 10th up, which would be enough to get the position. Now coming through the far chicane, easy flat for the Aston Martin. Now it's just a matter of taking the shortest run through the line as Snape has retired in the pits. The Aston Martin crosses the line and it's a 40.399, which is enough for the front row. Oh, not on the lap. You've aborted a lap. So all the stuff that's going to happen has happened. Some interesting gear increase. AlphaTauri now heads into the pit lane. And we'll have to wait for the car to be pushed into the garage. Unless Turavila hits the retire from session button, and then it goes faster. Although getting qualifying done fast has not been achieved well today, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I know, right? Who is this? This is someone new, Andre Strazel. But here is the final standings for the qualifying. David's on pole by quite a bit. Here's the tyres. Most people have used 3 except David and Mitch, who've only used 2. And that's all the incidents. And now we'll load into the race, which will hopefully be more exciting. Everyone is just loading in now. Apparently Backlick's computer has crashed. Oh, we might need a restart. Oh, just migrating host. Are we doing a restart? I'm not sure. Rog wants them to rejoin. Why is someone readied up? Okay, another person's left. I haven't called a restart yet. Apparently there's a re-lobby going on. Apparently I am needed to create the lobby. Why am I getting pinged so much? got settings. It's dry, so I need to set that. To select the track. Oh my gosh, the lobby is already open, so I'll do what you love to do, Wodge. Just to invite person to lobby, even though person can get into lobby fine and knows it's happening. Why does everyone, why can't everyone get in the lobby themselves? I just need to get the grid up so I can set it. Grid editor. David moves to the top. Ivanek moves to there. Where's Hauke? There. Oh my gosh, why do you need an invite when you can literally join off the friends tab of anyone? It's not a crossplay lobby. That guy is missing. Backing, it's Herbert, then Pavlakovic, Feathers, Turovila, Noibanov, Markovsky, Rasmussen, Epperson, and Ziemianchuk is 4. We'll save. We'll check now. Simeon, Chikaku, Bonus Snake, Baki, Zizvel, Herbert, Bakalik, Ferraz, Turavila, Loganov, Kopsky, Rasmussen, Eberson. Okay, just need to check all the lobby settings are correct. And then we can go. Yeah, I think we're good. We are about to go for the race. Everyone gets new tyres. Why is someone already readied up? What? Why is it saying 0? Okay, now we've got another timer. Maybe this is the actual one. Maybe. Got 10 seconds. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and it seems like Hauke has gotten a very good start in the Williams and is challenging for the lead, and Siemienchuk is also challenging for P3 in the Red Bull, as someone's already got a 5-second time penalty for contact, as they're just making their way through the 90-degree corner. As someone, we've got a spinner, and that I think is someone, is it Backlip or, I think they've recovered now, but they're all going through the corner one at a time, as they seem to have all sorted it out, although Loibanov is quite close to the back of that's a bit of a lunge, and the name I can't pronounce. Baklik seems to have had another bit of an oopsie, as Loibanov seems to have finally gotten past, although has lost touch to the train ahead, although it should be quite a bit quicker in the clean air, although hard went through it, although Adam Baki has now spun. The car seems so much slower in the racing than qualifying, and also I'm not sure what's happened to my frame rate. Kasper Siemienchuk is right on the back of Hauke, although taps the ball there, which is not ideal. Hopefully that won't give damage. However, it'll be interesting to see whether the Red Bull decides to go for it. I'll switch on all of the things so we can see the tyres, and everyone's gone for mediums except for Rona and Loibanov. It seems like Hauke's really using the battery to try and stick with David, who is very quick at the moment, and Arona seems to be challenging Ferraz for the position despite the tyre disadvantage. It's quite impressive. There's some position swaps further back as these two are going side by side, and two-wheeler's gone deep, and that's been a bit of a spin. Not optimal. Well, for Vaz, challenge Rona, no. Pavlakovic's in the pits. What's happened to Leuvenov? He's lost a position to someone. And now he gets back past the Red Bull that he overtook so ferociously at this place last lap. And the Red Bull's going to challenge around the outside. This seems to be like these two have a bit of a rivalry beginning to form, which could cost them a lot of time because going side by side is not optimal at such a narrow track. And Ziemianchik's probably getting a bit impatient at Hauke, who is much slower than David, as Eberson has unfortunately spun. And that puts him behind Leuvenov, though he's actually side by side, with the Red Bull behind, as Leuvenov seems pretty quick on those hards, as Herbert's had a spin, and I see a bit of broken front wing on track. Will Ziemianchik go for a move on Hauke? Not this lap. Just sitting in behind, although DRS gets enabled this lap, and DRS is quite strong at this track. Although there are positions... No, it's just someone heading into the pits for a new front wing. I think this is the closest battle on track, I think, right? As Hauke gets an absolutely massive snap, tries to cover off Ziemianchik, however Ziemianchik stays on the inside, and then Hauke just completely turns in and loses the position. That will propel championship leader Ivanek up into P2, 4.5 seconds off David. Philip, your prediction of 8 seconds in 2 laps? Not quite, but close. That contact is going to be painful for them. But Leuvenov seems to be quite quick on the hards, although running a bit deep there. It seems to be showing, no, that's not good. That will negatively impact your pace. Why is there VSC? Can I use that to change my graphic settings? To maybe fix the issues. So that goes to high. What I need to do is I need to go into video mode and back out. And I need to turn it back down to medium. Then in there, then out there. I'm only getting 69 FPS on my end. Why is the frame rate so low? Still under VSC. Ferraz is in the pits. Is this for a wing swap or because VSC wing swap? VSC will make it slightly less painful, but regardless it is a very painful pit stop to have to do. Lots of swaps happen. Okay, DRS got enabled, then the VSC got recalled. Interesting. But Ivanek seems to have gotten a much stronger restart, also not going deep into that corner. And now, how can Ziemianchik? They're 6 seconds off the back of David after less than 3 racing laps. Unfortunately, the Red Bull has binned it there, presumably losing traction, but interestingly, no safety car. That is a peculiar choice from the race directors. there anything else going on? Alcaron's a bit wide. Onto one of the not so fun curbs. Ivanek closed in a little bit on David there. Has David made a mistake? Possibly. There's another yellow flag, I think. Bjorn has gone a bit deep in the braking zone and is almost a lap down at this point already. Why are there yellow flags? Seems to be something wrong with an Alpha Tauri. Okay, now that's cleared itself. We're going board with the other Alpha Tauri, who is right on the back of Ferraz and is using DRS and is going to absolutely send it into the corner. And unfortunately there's contact between the Alpha Tauri and Raphael, which will promote Rona up the position. And Loibanov, despite having to pit, is not too far off the back of these guys. Although, let's see how far they are behind David. Ouch. That isn't, although that is not the line you want to take if you want to close into the leader, who is 40 seconds ahead. So already the field is spacing out quite a bit, and I worry that if there isn't a full safety car, there will be a lot of people a full lap down, and then the race becomes boring. Simienchuk is close to the back of Ivanek, but not within DRS yet. And David's just saving the battery and going off into the distance. They all have similar straight line speed. You run basically 0-0 at this track. It's the fastest way round. Fortunately, two Avila's. Oh, there's a full safety car. I think two Avila was stopped on track, but this is interesting. So I think all the leaders are now going to. I think everyone basically is going to go for hards. That is not what you want to do. Now Herbert's gotten past. David's well past the pit entry. I suspect all of them will be in for hards, which can make it to the end. If you're running really aggressive pressures, hards can do the entire race if there's a lap 1 safety car, so I think they'll make it to the end, although depending on the setup, the tyre wear will be an interesting factor, because tyre wear at this track is very aggressive, not in terms of percentage but how it feels, because what happens is the rear wears faster than the front by quite a considerable margin, and then as soon as your rears hit 60, you're dead, basically, because once tyres hit 60%, they just fall off a cliff in terms of pace, and they brought the softest compounds to battery, so even worse than normal. David's making his way into the pits now. Hopefully into the pits for his sake. He stayed out, it would be interesting if everyone behind box. Ivanek, I assume, will come in. No. Why did he have to do an illegal pit entry? Alf is in, Smitch is in. Barkowski is out or in? Second illegal pit entry. Everson stays out, interestingly. I think he'll still be behind David. I think he'll just about be ahead of Ivanek. Yeah. Where's safety car line 2? I'm not sure. Hadju's in, Ferraz is out, Loibanov out. Herbert, find out soon. Find out somewhat soon. It's taking quite a while. Herbert's those out, but only the new tyres, so another illegal pit entry. Why can't people do pit entries properly? I don't get it. But back a lick. It's actually quite far behind. The safety car's already going through the castle section. But at least he was on the correct side of the line. That is not good. That will need replacing. Will be another 5 seconds to the pit stop. Pavlakovic is in, taking it much more safely than Pavlakovic, and Rasmussen is unfortunately a lap down. He was basically out of this race. It's not ideal for the Alpine driver. Now we just do laps behind the safety car. I'll run more with Pavlakovic. Should I do a quiz or am I too lazy? If anyone in chat wants a quiz, I can maybe arrange one, but what would I do my questions on? That's not ideal. I guess it's cold tyres. But you generally don't want to be locking up on them. Something's wrong with the car, I think. Is there a front wing? There should be. There is. I do not understand the locking up and all of that stuff. Or is that purposely putting wear on the front to make sure that by the end of the race the car is still drivable? That might be the big brain master plan. Also, Hauck has gone from mediums to come off mediums and gone on to mediums, so that forces the Williams onto a 2-stop, which is a slower strategy on paper, unless everyone else's tyres fall off a cliff, but I think the hards should be able to do however many laps. This is the second lap of safety car. I'm not sure Pavlakovic is going to catch up. David's probably quite bored sitting there. Yeah, I'm not sure what Hauck is doing, although 17 laps on the hards. If you're running a race optimized setup, that will be completely fine, not hard. But if you're running a more qualifying optimized setup, I think the tires will actually just, the rears will, when they die, they just die, and then you start sliding on them. Although temperatures aren't really much of a problem here, in terms of getting too hot. How much slower is a lap under safety car? So green flag's like a 144, I think. What about safety car? Already at 215. 220 now. 225. So it's like 42.7 seconds slower. How far behind is Pavlakovic? The final drive's just crossed the start finish line at 116 in the lap. I assume Pavlakovic are going to do 145, so Pavlakovic, that's not how you want to take that corner. I think Pavlakovic is about 30 seconds behind the train, and you gain about 40 seconds a lap. Safety car will be coming in this lap, and I think Pavlakovic will catch up just about by the end of the lap. Should I commentate it like a qualifying lap? I guess I can. The Alpha Tower is now coming through turn 2. Oh, is there the audio bug? I haven't had this in a while. You remember when, I think it was like, I'm not sure which game, I think it was like 2020 and 21, when you were spectating the car sound like this. Like that. Found it a bit disconcerting the first time I heard it, but then I got used to it and I found it, and I struggled to acclimatise to it sounding normal when they fixed that bug. So I guess it's back, in case anyone missed the audio bug. Like there, you can hear it. Wonderful. Zuri is going to get throttle limited now, however it has something known as warm tyres. We'll go on board with Hauke, who is on the fastest tyres of any of the leaders. And might be able to challenge David. And we have seen Hauke get aggressive this race. When will David do the restart? Not yet, just waiting a bit. Hauke's leaving a bit of a gap, maybe to try and get momentum. I think it might have worked a bit too well, as Hauke has overtaken before the start-finish line. We'll have to give the position back. So not the best race car from the Williams driver. Especially considering that he dumped 15% of the battery just so he could hand the position back. Mitch has gotten 5 seconds for ignoring yellow flag. It seems like there's been a bit of a... There's a massive gap to Mitch, so I think something's gone on. Why does the game love to give me terrible camera angles? So this is why I like the on-board shots. More consistent. Hauke, I think, tried to go full move, however, it's not working. And David's just pulling away. Everson's holding on quite well. The position, I think, in my opinion. Although it runs deep, which is not what you want to do. It recovers a bit of time there. However, Hauke, with that additional grip, is now right on the back of Ivanek. Not sure if the Williams driver is going to go for me, but it seems like Ivanek has indeed dumped a lot more battery this lap. And then Hauke, that's not good from Eberson. Like, really, that's not good. You've lost your wing in P2. And now Hauke is in the slipstream of Ivanek. Is Ivanek fusing? Oh, what's happened? Hauke's binned it. And that brings out another safety car. I think David will just about get in front of this. But that is lead evaporated. Will anyone come into the pits? Maybe Loibanov. Come back for hards. If he was clever, he would have selected the harder allocation and would have a brand new set of hards. Otherwise, he's gonna need take the ones he started the race on. Also, Eberson's on a brand new set of hards and will be in 12th position. So not too shabby. Rona's on slightly old mediums. And Bakalik, you need to press the button to leave the pit box. There you go. He's on 5 lap old hards, and Rasmussen is still a lap down, unfortunately. But this is our second safety car. Will anyone pit? David might go. Will he go? Also, what tyres do you take? I think hards are better. they did, was it 2 racing laps? With the I think they did 3 under safety car. I think they only did 1. Did they do? I don't remember. Their tyres are probably on about 10% right now. Maybe worth it if you're like 2 Vila and you're not going to lose any positions. Is anyone from the leaders box? No. Interesting. Loibanov is in, but it's pretty much a no-brainer for 2 Vila to pit. That's silly. Like, my goodness. Loibanov was not clever and did not select the harder allocation. What a dum-dum. Why is everyone running out of tyres? You literally got brand new tyres because we had to re-lobby. Let me enter. Lost some positions there. I do not know what's got. How is Mitch 3rd? Well, I think Mitch has a 5-second thing, although it might be one of those slightly BS penalties. Everyone with penalty is on 5 seconds, which will get served in the pit lane. Which cars will everyone go through? They have to pit again. And Backett's gone for new mediums. And as long as we pull that down. Why is my frame rate so bad now? Will anyone's tyres fall off the cliff by the end? That is the other question. Because when the tyres fall off the cliff, they fall off the cliff. And the car's almost undrivable. We're just driving around in the safety car. Again, we'll back a bit. To the furthest back. We're not even halfway through this race, this is a long one. So he's not coming into the pit. Also using the battery there. Does it make sense to use battery? Well, that only would make sense if you're not going to catch up anyway. Either you're catching up regardless, and you get to recharge once you've caught up, so it doesn't matter, or you don't catch up, and it means you have less charge, so you can push less once the safety car's in. So I think using the battery literally does nothing. You're catching up to the safety car. Although I expect it will be in. Is this the 2nd or the 3rd lap? Might be the 3rd lap, so it might be in this lap. No, it isn't, unless you're doing a late call. So I think I set for another lap on the safety car. It's a bit boring, I think. What lap time is David doing? slow is the answer. Traffic will definitely catch up in the next lap if there isn't a crash. Also, Bjorn still unfortunately a lap down. Also at the back of the train. Using a lot of battery. Almost binned it in the wall. Is there anything going on right now? I'm just going around in circles. I think I'll go and board with Ivanek this time. Why has Hugo invited me to a CSGO game? I literally do not even have that game installed. So why are you inviting me? I do not get it. Safety car will be coming in this lap. What's happening? Position swapping. Mercedes of Markovsky has looped it around. I think Turovila and Eberson got illegal overtakes. Although losing that many positions is not ideal, as now they're getting throttle limited. When will David do the restart? Slowing down to build a gap to the safety car. So now coming through the fast kinks of 18 and 19. Then apparently this is turn 20 that they're approaching now, if you can see it. This tiny bend. When will David plant the throttle? He's half gone, now he's gone. Although Ivanek seems to have gotten a very strong restart, but so has Mitch, who will be looking to threaten Ivanek down the inside. They were teammates last season, Mitch and David, so I wonder if Mitch is going to try and do anything to support his former teammate, although Simeon is also quite close to the back of Mitch right now. As they come out of the corner though, Mitch seems to have gotten better traction, but the Red Bull is using some of the battery. However, stays behind for now. But Ivanek's done a pretty good job at following behind David, although has used a lot more battery to do so, which is really not optimal, as Everson seems to drop back a bit and has now spun round, which is really not that great. How's Leubenhoff doing? Started on the hards, broke wing. Then there were safety cars, then I roasted him for not getting 2 sets of hards. Like, why? That was just a skill issue. But Siemienchuk is quite close to the back of Mitch. He's actually pushing him through the corner. So now coming into this section, as there are yellow flags further back to reveal has binned it in the castle section. We'll go back on board with our fight for the podium position, as it seems like Rona's had a spin, and is Mitch going to fight this? No. Saving the battery. Maybe for a later attack. I'm not really sure what's going on. Maybe Mitch thinks his penalty can't get removed, though Zimienchik goes wide, and that allows Mitch straight back pass as Bakalik is in the pits. Though Mitch gets an enormous tank slapper and Bakalik retires in the pits, possibly having technical problems as Everson speeds into the pit lane, getting 5 seconds. But the Red Bull is going to be stuck behind Mitch for another lap. You can just see how close the Red Bull is able to follow, indicating a pace advantage. So now coming through the castle section, they're just approaching it now. And Mitch is actually able to carry some decent speed with the clean air, though Casper is right on the back, coming out of turn 12, which is quite impressive given the amount of dirty air you have in this game. And we're now heading through turn 15, and Mitch runs a bit deep, which will invite the Red Bull ever closer into the slipstream and DRS, as unfortunately Rasmussen had another oopsie daisy at turn 3. But now I'm not sure there's going to be that much Mitch can do with the DRS, because Everson has unfortunately crashed in the castle section, and that brings out another safety car. Final with Rasmussen to see if you can see what happened. But the car's been removed. Unfortunate for the McLaren driver. But there are some people in the pits. Will David be in? So if David pits, he would be P6, so you'd lose at most 5 positions, and unless you went for the softer allocation, you'll have a new set of mediums, and they will be considerable. Although they haven't done many racing laps in these tyres, they've mostly been under safety car. I think it makes sense for them all to box. The Ivanhoe is quite close to the back with David, especially compared to previous restarts, although Mitch will have to serve his 5 seconds if he comes to the pit. If he stays out, he'll be able to contest the penalty, although he's also got 5.7 laps of excess fuel, which is quite a lot, I think. You don't need that much fuel, Mitch. Will everyone be in? David is in, Ivanek in, Mitch in, Roma sped on the safety car, Zimienchuk across the pit line. I'm not sure if that's for the second time. Baki also crossed the line, maybe for the second time. I'm not sure who's done it so far. But there could be a lot of potential penalties, as Loibanov has now taken the lead of the race, and Ivanek has gone for softs, which is interesting. Personally, I would have gone for mediums, because the softs are literally rubber bands, as they are every track, but rubber bands at Baku are the worst, because actually they're fine until the rears hit the cliff, and then when they hit the cliff, they really hit the cliff. I've already said that. The wear rate at this track is maybe 8% a lap. Is it 8%? It probably depends on your setup. 6 to 8%, I think. And then times how many laps. Probably be at most 7. So the tyres shouldn't hit the cliff. Although I think they will be no longer optimal. Will everyone catch up to the back of the safety car train by the end of this lap, so we can have just a 2-lap safety car, or will it be another 3-lap safety car? At this rate, it will be a 3-lap. If drivers are struggling so hard to drive, now it's going to be another 3-lap safety car, so we'll have 9 laps and a safety car this way. This is boring. Maybe we should turn off safety cars. Should we? Maybe we should turn off safety cars. If anyone in the YouTube chat has an opinion, you can put it in there as to whether safety car should be disabled or not. I'm coming into the pits again. And also you had to do an illegal pit entry. Going from 8-lap all mediums to 3-lap all mediums, I think at this point I would rather take the softs than scrub mediums. Get up and go deep, I think so. I think two of these blocks were brand new softs, so we should make it to the end. It's only 8 laps. What will Ivanek be able to do in the softs? With David on the mediums and stuck behind Loibanov, who is on some pretty old cards. Yeah, this could get spicy. All David needs to do is not bin it. We have another lap of safety car, I'm so bored. I feel like that engine noise. I think everyone else is also bored. How many laps? Mitch has 6.6 laps of fuel excess. That is probably a bit much. Yeah, maybe minimum fuel is a good strategy at this track. How reliable is it that the safety car comes out? Like 99%, I think. Maybe not 99, maybe 95% probability of safety car. Although there's the phrase safety cars breed safety cars because they bunch the pack up, and that then means that there's more likely to be a crash, which brings out another safety car. Safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. and drivers are beginning to warm their tyres in preparation for the recall of the safety car. And also trying to burn off a bit of fuel. There we go, there's the message. I'm riding with Ivanek. See whether the Aston Martin can get the jump on the Ferrari ahead. Because David has seemed pretty quick this... Oh! David slowed down a lot and Ivanek's now broken his front wing. I should be more excited about that. That is pretty big. Has pretty big implications for the championship rivals, because that might mean that Ivanek's going to drop like many positions behind David, and it seems like Loibanov's got a good restart, but so is Mitch Snape, who's right behind Kasper Ziemianchuk and Ivanek as well. Ivanek goes a bit defensive into turn 1, and it seems like it will be Linus Stern for now. But out front, David Hoy is still stuck behind Loibanov, whether he's going to dump the... I think he is dumping the battery to try and get past. Will Loibanov fight? I think he will fight this, just to try and hold back the tide, because there's only 6 laps. And the tide advantage of the cars behind will get smaller and smaller each one, so every lap you can fend them off is to your advantage if you are on the hards. Oh, I just had a spin. But David is really harassing the back of Loibanov. Thinks about sending it into the corner but backs out. And you can just see how much more pace there is in that Haas than there is in the Ferrari. As David is trying to get a good exit off a corner. And they've both saved up quite a lot of batteries. Unfortunately, battery has binned it. Ravson's gone deep. Fortunately, no safety car, which is good for my sanity, although it won't just be Loibanov who's under threat, it will also be Ivanek with that wing damage. David is going to switch on the battery now, and I'm not sure there's that much Ferrari can do, although I think I can try and hold on to P2. And will Ivanek be able to hold with Ziemianchuk and Mitch? I'm not sure. Because these guys on the mediums, they seem a bit quicker now, given that Ivanek has wing damage, and then when the softs go off, then yeah, then there's nothing Ivanek can do, although the wear tends to be more concentrated on the rears. Okay. How do you get... You need to do that multiple times. So Rona has done multiple illegal pit entries and pit exits. I might just go through the race so I can see everyone who's gotten a warning for illegal pit entry or exit, in case anyone wants to report. I'm not bothered to do that. It seems like Ziemianchuk is somewhat struggling to keep up with Ivanek, despite Ivanek lacking part of the front wing. I don't think DRS has enabled this lap, but also I'm not sure if Loibanov's going to break out of Ivanek. You can see that as you go down the list, there's progressively more battery, and Ziemianchuk seems quite racy in the slipstream of that Aston Martin as David sets the fastest lap in the race of a 43 point whatever. And now coming through this turn, DRS has been enabled and Ivanek will crucially have DRS in Loibanov. And Mitch does not, interestingly, although I think Loibanov will be a bit of a cork in the bottle through the middle sector, as the Ferrari is actually flashing now. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. But Ziemianchuk is probably going to be wanting to get both of them, because by the end of the race he will have the best tyres out of the three. And also won't have front wing damage, which is always a bonus. As the Red Bull is now making its way through the turns, it's really close to the back of Ivanek, showing the downforce advantage you have when you have an intact wing, although having a broken wing will increase your straight line speed. But Ziemianchuk is right on the back of Ivanek, which will provide a vast amount of slipstream coming out of the corner. And what this slow pace also has meant is that Mitch is back in DRS, but Ivanek runs deep and is close to dropping out of DRS of Loibanov. I think Ziemianchuk might see this as an opportunity to pounce right now, flicking on the battery. Seems like Ivanek's also flicking on the battery, and they're all out of battery. Will Ziemianchuk be able to get Loibanov as well? I think Loibanov's just a sitting duck with those old tyres, as Ziemianchuk absolutely sends it on Ivanek, and somehow they avoid damage, as the Red Bull's now going side by side with the Ferrari, although this will be costing them time going side by side. And will Mitch be able to get the pair of them? Just the move of the day from Mitch. Raimund Loibanov to see that they're going side by side, and Mitch has got the position over Ziemianchuk and is now up into position number 3. Also Turo Vila watching Ferraz and Haju battle quite intensely, although unable to get the position. And Herbert as well might be able to strike on Loibanov, although it seems to be a bit deficient in the confidence, although the tyre should be making up for that. Also, is Mitch going to be able to get P2 here? We can see the flashing light on that Aston Martin, and the tyres are just going to get better and better for Mitch. I'm not sure whether Ziemianchuk's going to be in DRS, and Mitch seems to have gotten a strong enough exit off the corner. I think he'll be within DRS. And so will Ziemianchuk, however, the train is very strung out at the moment. Mitch does get DRS, this could be pivotal in the fight for P2, but Turo Vila is also right on the back of the Alpine ahead. And also Ferraz has no DRS in that McLaren, so Turo Vila will just pick off the pair just like that, and it is... Oh, he runs deep and gets bumped off. Oh, and that's a big crash. And Turo Vila's in the wall. There's even more bumping between them. I wonder if there will be a report stemming from that incident. There probably will, but I don't have to steward it, so it's not my problem. Herbert is right behind Loibanov. I might be looking to challenge for the position, but so is Mitch Snake, who is hounding the rear of Ivanek, as we've got 100 bit laps to go, and I think Mitch will be able to actually get P2 again, which is almost beyond belief how consistent Mitch is at this track. How is Mitch P2? Or looking to go for P2? He's P3 right now. Well, he has a lot more grip than Ivanek with the tyres. Why aren't you using the battery, Mitch? Oh, he's having to lift. I guess that minor skill issue might harm the chances of winning. a P2, whatever words mean. He might not be able to get Ivanek, unfortunately, but Herbert is straight past Loibanov, who has nothing left on those tyres, but respect for trying to hold on. As the Alpine of Eric Hadju is now right on the back of Michał Markowski, who are, I think they're both new drivers for this race, so getting some racing experience now. Although Mitch is also right on the back of Ivanek, although Mitch will need to get a much better run through the final corners if he wants P2. Fevers runs a bit. Yes, show the Mitch fight. I would if you stopped inviting me to CSGO. Okay, deal. Yeah, and shut up, Hugo. And also tell Mitch to get more skill. Sure, yes. I should stop bullying my chat, but just watch PC F3 France last season. That was a banger. Also involving Mitch Snake getting P2. Oh, that's not gonna help. Jimmy Entrick's also quite close behind, but remember Jimmy Entrick has crossed the pit entry line, maybe on multiple occasions, so Mitch can report, if needed, to get the position. Although I think Mitch will not be able to get Ivanek, as they now come across the line, and it is unfortunately only just a normal podium for Mitch. We'll go to the battle further back. Is DRS powerful enough? Not enough. That is P1 for David, P2 for Ivanek, P3 for Mitch, 3 penalties, P4 for Timienchuk, 5th for Herbert, 6th for Loibanov, 7th for this guy who literally assassinated 2 Ovila, so there might be a penalty incoming. Rona takes 9th on track, or Ferraz takes 9th, and then Rona is 10th. Although Loibanov might be getting a penalty for some sort of braking check under safety car restart, because apparently that's what happened, and David had to brake, and then Ivanek went bye-bye front wing. Dangerous driver of the day to Loibanov. I think I'm going to give it to Mitch. I'll probably forget when, in 5 days time, when whoever it is asks me for the driver of the day. Here's all the stuff. Ooh. Naughty, naughty. Ooh, lots of people doing the exit white line, but not the entry. Which is, I don't think the game pings you for the pit entry. Rona got fastest lap, so only 26 points for David, not 27. Which I think is a massive skill issue. Just my personal opinion, I've already done that. Here's the pit stops, lots of front wing swap. Yeah, a lot of front wing swaps. But I think I will end the stream there because I don't feel like doing it. Actually, no, don't want to interview Mitch. I need an answer in the next 5 seconds. Okay, no one's answered. Stream will be over now, I guess.